of you have had to count to 3 before picking up your phone in the morning. You already know it's gonna be something. You swipe up, breaking news. You're like, what? Oh, wow, really? And then you stare at the screen thinking, this must be The Onion. No, baby, it's real life. And just like that, before your feet hit the floor, you already been tested. Now, last week, Marlon reminded us, love thy neighbor, as Jesus said in the New Testament. Well, let's be honest. Some folk are really testing that notion. Some know how to work your last nerve. I'm talking that backup nerve you keep on reserve. You know what? You keep for emergencies. Yeah, that one. What do you do when someone you care about starts sounding mean? When they mock people's pain, share cruel jokes, spread nonsense with a smile, and then ask you, how are your kids? What do you do when the person you're called to love is also your cousin, your childhood friend, your mama, your pewmate, person sitting next to you, someone you still love but who doesn't seem to love all of you back? Now, I still believe in the calling to love but let's not pretend it's easy. Doesn't always feel like love, does it? And sometimes it just hurts. And when it hurts long enough, something begins to shift. It's no longer just grief, it runs deeper. It's what we call moral injury. That is the wound. That is the cry. That is the soul saying, this isn't right. And yet no one listens. When your sense of right and wrong is betrayed by the very people and systems meant to uphold it. When your dignity isn't just denied or disregarded, but trampled on and treated as if it never existed. That kind of pain doesn't just pass away. It settles in your bones and your blood. It makes you question your place in the world. And for some of us, it's not just theory, it's personal. And we need to know this because if we don't name the harm, we can't begin to heal it. I said, if we don't name the harm, we can't begin to heal it. And if we don't understand how deep it grows, we risk blaming ourselves for what was never ours to carry. Now, I've lived it. When my first brother lost his life, one of 2 brothers killed. He was 21 years old, a young black man barely starting his adulthood. The police called it self-defense, though he was attacked at his own home. They never told us we could speak to a district attorney and seek other charges. They never walked us through our rights. They never gave our family the dignity of a full explanation. My parents walked away that day with nothing but grief. As they were walking out, one of the black administrators pulled them to the side and said, I'm sorry, they won't pursue this because to them it's just another black man off the street. One less to deal with. That event didn't just wound us, it marked us. Because what do you do when the system makes it clear that your loved one's life was disposable? When justice isn't even considered because of the color of your skin, your economic status, or who you love. That, my friends, is moral injury. Now, if you are carrying any type of moral injury in your body right now, I want to pause. Ask you just to close your eyes and place your hand over your heart and just breathe. We see you. You belong. After enough injury, enough silence, some people may begin to feel powerless. But let me be clear. Let me be clear today. I don't believe for 1 second that we are powerless. If we were truly powerless, folk wouldn't be working so damn hard to suppress our voices, working so hard to suppress our votes, erase our history, control our bodies, discredit our truth. Powerlessness, my friends, isn't truth. It's a strategy used by those who fear your strength. But you and I come from people who knew how to resist, who imagined freedom when it wasn't offered, who kept seeing even when the world's eyes were closed. Your values, my friends, your wisdom, your vision has power. Our collective hope terrifies those who rely on fear. And that same spirit of resistance lives on in our lives, shaping how we confront injustice in every generation. They can try to dim the flame, but they can't kill the fire within us. It reminds me of a scene from To Kill a Mockingbird. A black man falsely accused, wrongfully convicted by an all-white jury, despite clear evidence of his innocence. After the guilty verdict was read, the black spectators in the courthouse balcony rose, but not for the verdict. They likely knew it was coming, but for the attorney, Atticus Finch, who dared to speak truth. They stood not in surrender, but in sacred defiance, not with hope for justice, but with dignity in its absence. It wasn't a legal victory, but it was a moral one. And sometimes standing in silence is the last power you have, but it's still power. For generations, black people in America endured injustices so horrific and unrelenting, so legally sanctioned and spiritually ignored that they had to seek justice elsewhere. When justice was denied in the courthouse, the White House, and even in the church house, our people imagined a realm where the scales balance, and that was heaven for many of them. It was divine justice that was guaranteed. And for many, that belief, that sacred vision kept them alive, got them through another day. But others sought freedom in this world. In the North, perhaps through Harriet's Underground Railroad, through education, resistance, through self-determination. And some didn't just hope, they acted in ways seen and unseen. And some, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., acted by casting a vision so clear, it moved a nation. Before he was taken from us, Dr. King said, "I've been to the mountaintop. I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land." He spoke of a future that he might not live to enter, but he believed we could. And though they tried to silence him with bullets, they couldn't kill the vision. Because vision rooted in justice, dignity, and love transcends our lifespans and our mortal bodies. I said a vision that's rooted in love, dignity, and justice can transcend our mortal lives. It lives on in people who can see it too, and who keep showing up. Now, closer to home, a bronze sculpture of our own Oklahoma civil rights icon Clara Luper, as it was told in the story for all ages. A sculpture was unveiled in downtown Oklahoma City this past Monday. It doesn't just honor her memory, it tells a story of courage that reshaped our state. Clara was a teacher who had already faced segregation in classrooms, cafeterias, and restrooms at the University of Oklahoma. She once sat in a class where the professor declared he had never taught a black student and never wanted to, but he used the racial slur. But that didn't deter Clara. She stayed in that classroom, she excelled, and eventually changed the mind of her professor. 1958, she gathered the NAACP Youth Council and walked them into Katz Drugstore in downtown OKC, where the youth peacefully ordered Cokes at the lunch counter, only to be jeered at, coughed on, and knocked down. But despite it, they responded with dignity and discipline. And as the story went earlier, within days, Katz desegregated its lunch counters. And the success sparked similar actions across Oklahoma City, transforming restaurants, theaters, hotels, and churches. And Clara's fight didn't stop there. She marched in Selma, where police violence left her bleeding. She stood with the sanitation workers, fighting for fair treatment. She led campaigns across Oklahoma that forced cities to change. And for her unwavering commitment to justice, she was arrested 26 times. She wasn't just someone I read about in school. She was family. Her sister was married to my uncle. So I remember her visiting our home and my grandmother's home too, and I didn't fully grasp it then that I was connected to someone who would open doors that might still be closed for me. I didn't understand her presence at that time, but now standing in this very future she dreamed of, I realize we can love this country enough to challenge it and to change it. That same spirit lives on. And the struggle, my friends, isn't over. Looking back, she once admitted, my biggest challenge, she says, I think was within myself to believe I could keep going despite poverty and hostility. But my greatest satisfaction was knowing that someday we would be able to do what my father, a World War I veteran, could not. Enjoy the privileges of first-class citizenship. Clara Luper saw it. She saw a future where justice and liberty for all is a reality. And yet here we are, still fighting for equal rights and opportunities, still fighting for a seat at the table and talking about who gets to eat. Yes, my friends, there are people raised in hell, resisting equality and justice for all, hurting people with their lies, their weaponized religion, their oppressive laws. And I say to you, let people rage. Let politicians throw tantrums on the floors of power, in courtrooms and policies, because history, my friends, won't look kindly on them. I know this. Why? Because we've seen it all before. White robes in the night, governors at schoolhouse doors, suits and ties writing injustice into law. But we also remember a time when Confederate statues stood tall, when flags of hate were flown and called heritage. But history has a long memory. And over time, those symbols came down, but not just from pedestals, but from hearts that could no longer stomach the lie. Families once proud of the past now wrestle with what their ancestors stood for. Even in this community, we see that, my friends, we will see it again. Check your legacy. Because real truth doesn't stay buried. It rises, it speaks, and it reclaims the story. What's built on lies won't last, not in time, not in truth. And history will name it for what it was. I guarantee it. So I'm saying to all my brothers, sisters, and others, not to become undone by what you see before you, but look over yonder. Can you see it? Because the arc of the moral universe does bend always toward justice. It's not just an idea, it's a pattern, it's a promise, it's a pulse in the veins of the universe. And some days justice feels lost, truth feels silenced, and lies are deafening. But don't be fooled, my friends. The arc doesn't bend by magic, it bends because people pull together. So what do we do? First, choose what feeds your spirit, not just your outrage. Shall I say that again? Choose what feeds your spirit, not just your outrage. Keep the history some are trying to erase and pass it on. Show up where justice is quiet and speak up. Start a conversation that could change someone's mind. Feed a body, hold a hand, tell the truth, and live like it's real. And as you fight for what's right, don't forget to care for yourself. Love thy neighbor, yes, but love yourself too. I'm going to love some me. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm going to love me too. You can't give what you don't nourish. So breathe. Eat real food, drink water, say no if you have to. Rest, laugh, cry. Take some meds if you need to. I did. And I went back 2 weeks later and I asked for something stronger. So if you see me walking sideways, talking about this joy is mine, just know this, I probably went back and got something a little stronger. So let people do what they do. You just stand back and observe them. Because you still just see what's in front of you. You can see over yonder. The world doesn't just need your activism. It needs you to survive alive. So let nothing steal your vision. Let nothing steal your joy, your health, or your peace. And when you feel yourself becoming affected by someone else's and what they're doing, just check yourself. Pull yourself back and observe them looking stupid. If this is their time, if this is their moment, let them have it. Let them celebrate a season of control. But can you see it? Baby, you got to look with the eyes of hope. Can you see it? You got to look with the eyes of patience. You got to look with the eyes of vision. You got to look with the eyes of love. You got to look with the eyes of Dr. King and Dr. Wolf and Clara Looper. Can you see it? Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Seeing the future doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means carrying it forward and recognizing that we didn't get here alone. We didn't survive alone. We had each other. We've always had allies in the struggle. John Brown, a white abolitionist who believed black lives were worth his own, that cost him everything. Reverend James Reeb, a Unitarian Universalist minister, murdered in Selma for daring to stand with Dr. King. White allies, Jewish neighbors, faith leaders, teachers, field workers, and so many more unnamed souls who refused to bow, even when obedience was demanded at the highest level. That vision didn't belong to just one generation. It passed on to us. This is my legacy, and it is yours too. If you're white today, if you identify as a white person, this belongs to you, not the guilt, but the courage, the connection, the call. If you are a freedom-loving people, this is your inheritance. Those who stood when it wasn't popular, who gave when it cost them, who said, this isn't your fight, it's mine too. So rise into it, folks. Some would have us believe that if it's legal, it must be right. The devil is a lie. We know better. The law is only just when it aligns with love. Shall I say that again? I said, the law is only just when it aligns with love. And when it's used to harm or erase, then resistance, my friends, isn't just justified, it's holy. Yeah, this is the holy work we have before us. The work of remembering, of resisting, of rebuilding, not the work that wins awards, but the work that wears you down. That every day show up again kind of work. Telling the truth when it's risky, protecting rights that are under attack, defending dignity when others try to delete it, building bridges when some are building walls. Here's how we carry that vision. We learn, we speak, we nourish, we rest, we resist, we remember, and we love the hell out of them. This is the holy work because it honors those who came before us. It's holy because it upholds the dignity both of those who walk beside us as well as those who do not. Holy because it makes room for those who will come and do the work after we're gone. We are the keepers now of the stories, the vision, the ark that still bends. We remember what some want us to forget. We carry what others try and have tried to bury. We are the oral historians, the final witnesses. You see, truth, my friends, was never meant to stay on paper. It's meant to be spoken and lived at tables, in barber shops, on porches, over meals, and between breaths. These stories survive, the real history survived because someone had the vision to say, one day, somebody will need to know. So we are called by those voices that came before us, and we are answering. We, my friends, are answering with courage, with vision. We are marching on with a holy and relentless love. And now, can you hear it? Now it speaks in us. Vision isn't passive, my friends. It's a practice. It's a way of life. Because vision isn't just about what we see. It's what we are willing to carry. Even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's under threat. No lie lasts forever. And truth doesn't die. It waits for a witness. Yeah. It waits. The truth waits for a vision, a voice bold enough to speak what others fear to see. And if not us, then who? If not now, then tell me when. What kind of ancestor do you want to be? I'll tell you what I want to be. I want to be that witness. You are that witness. We are the ones who hold the flame in the dark, my friends, the shadows, who refuse to let the story end here. So carry it, even when the night is heavy. Speak it, so silence could not dim hope. Live it, my friends, knowing that no matter how dark it is right now, the dawn is coming. Can you see it?